You guys are like, no, just whatever. Okay, perfection. Well then, we'll get started. And don't worry, even though we're filming, nobody can see you guys. So, all right. Hello, thank you so much for joining me for Pilates Sculpt all levels. My name is Audra, and today we're going to use several props. We've got weights, a ball, and a mini band. If you're at home and you don't have weights, you can use canned goods, water gallon jugs, wine bottles. If you don't have a ball, you can use a pillow folded up. And if you don't have a mini band, you can either tie a TheraBand around your legs or don't worry about it. As always, take breaks as needed. Don't do anything that doesn't feel good. Listen to your body. And we're just going to begin with doing a little body scan. So just stand with your feet about hip distance apart and just notice what's happening, right? Are your feet turning out? Are they turning in, or are they straight ahead? Is your weight all the way in your heels, or is it all the way in your toes? And I'd like you to shift your weight forward and back just a couple of times. Good. And then find center. And now just bring attention to your ankles and knees, right? Are your knees bent? Are they hyperextended? Or are they right over your ankle joint? And we're just going to bend them and straighten them a couple times, trying not to let the back respond. Good. Last one. And then we bring attention to our hips, right? If one likes to rotate forward, go ahead and rotate them a couple times forward and back. And then notice if they're diving forward or if they're tucked, and we're actually going to let them go into a couple different ranges. So we're just going to anteriorly tilt and posteriorly tilt. Good. You can keep your knees soft if they need to be. And then find neutral. And then same with the ribs. We're just going to lift, lower them just a few times. Good. Find center where we're not hunkering and we're not elevating. And then just notice where your shoulders are. Go ahead and give them a little protraction and retraction. Try to find center and then slide them up and down a few times. So if we slide them down so much that you feel like tension or you feel the front of your armpits trying to help, don't shove them down as far, right? Just let them relax down. Good. And now we're going to do little circles, thinking of your shoulder blades more than your shoulders. So think about little shoulder blade circle. Just notice where it goes. You can have your arms touching your shoulders or down. It's up to you. My shoulder on one side is like, I don't know what I'm doing. So having my hand up gives it a little bit of feedback. And then we go to the other side or other direction. Good. Two. Feeling how they glide. Good. Draw them down. Arms can come down and just notice where your ears are, if they're forward, back, or stacked. Good. And now nod, hollowing out through the front of your body and roll all the way down. Only go down as far as you can, shifting your weight forward and back a couple times. Notice where the stretch changes, right? And then you can take your hands to one side and breathe. Notice how the stretch might change here as well, right? I feel this like crazy in my lateral hamstring. And then other side. And come back to center, and we're coming onto hands and knees. Okay. So as we're here, if you at any point need to come on your fists or your forearms, it's fine. But go ahead, push into the floor a little bit with your pointer finger. Find your abs, tuck your toes under, and press down into the floor, hovering your hips slightly. Good. And then tap the knees down. Exhale, lift back. Good. And it's just a little baby hover. We're not doing too much. Think about the exhale where you lift, right? We're keeping our spine in one position for now. Belly button is what helps the abs lift. Two. Last one. Good. Now, maintaining that position, slide one foot out, push into that heel, squeeze that glute, other foot comes out to meet it. So it's the exact same spinal position we just found. Belly button elevated, and then you can bend one knee if you like, reach it back, Other side. If you need a break, you set your knee down in between. If you're like, that's even a little much for me today, that's fine. You stay in quadruped, slide one foot out, slide the other foot out, no problem. 3, 2, last one. Knees down, press yourselves into your gentle rest position. Rolling out your wrists. Take your hands up and over to one side. Press your hips away, letting that armpit open. So you've got a stretch on that side body. And then other side. Come back to center. Good. Now, we're going to build. So we've got one knee, we're going to bring it towards us and then tap it towards the opposite elbow. Hold for a second and breathe. Everybody feel that oblique kicking on a little? Lift up from here a little bit more. Yeah, more oblique. Yeah, and then bring the knee across even more so your hip rotates slightly. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, and then other side. So it's like a push away, letting that hip rotate. We're just going to hold. It might take a second for it to kick on. Now, you can stick with those or come into your plank, hold, 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 and back. Other side, hold, 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 and back. Good, few more. So let that rotate a little, yeah. Good. How are these feeling, everybody? Great. I heard one me click. I know. Last one. It's like a restaurant server asking you how everything is when your mouth is full. Yeah. Last one. Knees down, rolling out your wrists. Those looked great. So I'm assuming they also felt great, yeah? Good. We're gonna come on to our side. Now, you do not have to side plank on your forearm. You can always do this on your hand instead. First, we're gonna sink down in like slumber party shoulder. And then we're not gonna do that again. We're gonna push the floor away, lift the ribs, yeah? Good. Now, push your knees into the ground to help you lift your hips. If for any reason you're like, I want to keep my hips down, that's fine. Now maybe this is where you are. Maybe you lift your top knee. How's that glute feel? Kicking on a little? Yeah, good. Maybe you want to extend that bottom leg. Yeah, and we breathe. 3, 2, 1. And we're just going to go to the other side. Don't worry, we'll come back to side planks. I can tell you all we're very concerned about it. So slumber party shoulder. Hey, who do you think is cute? We're not doing that again. We're going to press. We're going to lift, push down, and hold. Maybe this is where you are. Maybe you lift that top knee, getting that glute to start kicking on. Maybe you just want to extend both legs. Maybe you want to extend and lift. And we hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Come down. Now we're coming through forearm plank, forward, wide feet. And keep your feet flexed. Keep your ankles strong. Rotate to one side. Your inside plank. Rotate back to center. Other side. Now, because our ankles are strong, we have a wide stance, and we're not stacking our feet, we don't actually have to move our feet on top of each other. Now, if this is not for you today, you can always be on your knees. No problem. Try to think about your fingertips not going behind you, but lifting you up towards the sky. right? If they are elevated, hey, Andrea, instead of your hand going back, point it straight up like arrows. Yeah, should be a little easier, right? Now, come to the first side. We're gonna play a game. You guys ready? All right, we're gonna play red light, green light. Green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light, green light. And then we get to do the other side. Green light, red light, green light, red light, green light, red light. Nice. And then just keep it nice and slow from side to side. We're not doing that again. And come back to center, knees down. Press yourselves into your rest position. Now go ahead, take your hands, we're gonna wrap them behind us. So we're just gonna touch our low back. Yeah. And all I want you to do is when you breathe, breathe into your hands here. Feel the tissue of your low back moving, expanding posteriorly and laterally. And then exhale from the front. Let's try that again. So if you're like posterior and laterally, what? Back and side, that's it. So inhale into your hands, pushing them away. And then exhale from the front. One more. And we're coming all the way up to standing. Now, if at any point, oh, grab your mini band. If at any point when we're doing any of our standing work, you're like, man, my back is feeling this. Send your breath into your back and it will help stabilize you. So you can bring this above your knees or below your knees. I personally like above, but that's just me. We're gonna come into a nice wide stance here. Good. Now, think about your upper thigh bones, not your knees, okay? We're going to gently externally rotate from our upper thigh bones, just a little bit. The knees and toes will come along for the ride, but they're not guiding it. Good. Now, keeping your knees over your second or third toe for this, sink down. Good. Yeah. Beautiful. And we're going to hold. So feel how the band is trying to pull your knees towards each other, and you have to use your glutes to rotate. Yeah. So a lot of times it's tempting to try to just push the knees out, which isn't bad, but it can bring a little pressure on the knees. So think of it coming from here. Now stabilize this side. Resist the band as you let one knee come in just a little, and then press it out, hold. And then the other side. Now, if you notice your whole body responding, lock it down a little, right? Because we're not trying to let the hip move. We're letting the thigh bone move in the socket. Think about kind of screwing the thigh and the hip joint like you're screwing in a light bulb, right? Good. I want you to actually send your tail feathers back a little. Yeah. Good. You did it. You just kind of instinctively did it. Yeah. Good. Then keep your hips nice and still. Yeah. Is that more exciting back here? Yeah. Good. Nice job. Stephanie, rotate just a little bit more. Yep. Little less. There you go. Yeah. Nice. How are those glutes feeling, everybody? Great. Yeah, yeah. And then we're going to sink down an inch, up 1 inch. Hold. Sink down an inch. You can do whatever you need to with your hands. Up an inch. Yeah. 2. Press out a little bit more with that left knee. Yeah. And then shift your weight this much to your left. Yeah. Good. More exciting? Yeah. Yeah. I know. Yeah. And all the way up. Nice job. Bring your feet together. Now, just find your back pockets. We're going to try something. Now, without engaging your inner thighs, I just want you to squeeze your butt and feel how the back pockets back here really deepen. That's fine. That just means your deep hip rotators are working. Now this time, think about squeezing your inner thighs together like you're trying to pop a balloon, and then rotate from the glute. And notice how the deep hip pockets will activate, but not as much. It's a little bit more superficial, yeah? Yeah. Think about a rotation and squeeze. Yeah, good. Now float one leg up. Yeah. No big deal, right? Now, all of you are on the mat, which just means it's an unstable surface, which is great. But if you feel really wobbly, come off of it. And then just brush the knee out to the side and back. Now we're not going into a crazy rotation. We're just brushing and holding, yeah. Everybody doing all right? Feel how this side has to stabilize as well, because otherwise the knee collapses in. So what we just did with the inner thigh and the knee, same thing. How you guys feeling? Great? Good. Relax your faces and your shoulders then. Good. We have 4, 3, 2 more. Gorgeous. Last one, hold. Potentially, hold. And you can hold for 5, hold for 4, 3, 2, bring it in. So tap that toe down. I'm turning to the side. We're gonna slide our hips down and back, bending ankle, knee, and hip. So we're coming into triple flexion. We're just gonna push that foot away from us. Yeah, and then let it come in. And again, now pay attention to this knee, right? If it's collapsing in, see if you can rotate it to face that second or third toe. Now, here's the thing, you guys. When we live life, we're not only living over that second or third toe, right? However, we do want to be able to control the knee. And the knee is normally affected either by the foot and ankle or the hip region, right? So what's above it or below it. So if you're like, I'm working my glutes so hard, but my knee still wants to come in, lift the arch of your foot slightly without rolling onto the blade, like suction cup it. Yeah. How's that feeling, everybody? Great. Good. Good. 3. Good. 2. Last one. Bring it in. Tap. Now we're just hip hinging. We're keeping this knee bent. Okay. Now hip hinge. So we're sliding our tail feathers back. Hold for a second. With this knee bent, it's more glute. If the leg is straight, it's going to be more back and hamstring. Push into your big toe mound, squeeze your glute to come up, keep the knee bent. And then hip hinge. So the reason we're keeping the knee bent is so we're coming into hip extension before knee extension, right? Yeah. You can take a break if you need to. I know it's a lot. And if at any point you guys need to, and then at the top, bring your belly button in. Yeah. So when you're here, it's great. When you come up, belly button comes in a little. Yeah. Good. Same thing. I want your hip bones to come. So do you feel how you're arching a little? Yeah, there. Think about this, bringing your hips through. Yeah. Good. Good. Better. Does that feel better in your back? Good. 2. How you guys feeling? So good? Yeah. Now, all we're going to do is hold it part of the way down. Now, keep this knee in alignment. We're going to turn our body towards that front leg. Now turn our body back to neutral. Make sure the knee stays still. Turn your body away from the leg. Yeah. Come back to center. Now, if you're like, this is too easy, lift the other knee. Right? I think it's easier to find, but it's way harder to do because we're trying to keep that knee aligned. Yeah. So keep the knee bent. Inner thigh pulls us down. Yeah. And then glute pushes us away. Yeah. Don't go quite as far because your knee is starting to come with you. So if you keep it bent a little bit more, yeah. And then keep it right there. Hold, push your knee that way. Just the knee. Yeah. Yeah. Do you feel the difference? Good. 2. Yeah, it's a lot on the foot too. Last one. Come all the way up. I have wonderful news. Other side. Oh, I'm like, why? Why are we doing this today? Because we're gonna be so strong. So squeeze the inner thighs. Find your glute. Push into the floor. Lift the foot. Oh, lift the foot. Yeah. Just hold for a second. So that, good. Bring it in. That muscle fatigue, it's so good. It's like the feeling of getting stronger. Never said it like felt great, but it's exciting. Good. And once again, it's just a little brush out to the side. If you rotate a little, it's fine. We're not necessarily trying to go into a big rotation. Good. Nice. How's everybody feeling? So good. This nice fresh side, ready to take on the world. You're like, I guess. Great. I guess is better than no. Good. Give me a couple more. Good. Just so you guys know, they already know this. I can't count, so I'll often say a couple more and then we do a bunch more. I haven't forgotten, I promise. Last one, we're gonna hold for 5. Hold for 4. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. Bring it in, tap. Good, all right. We're gonna slide those hips back a little. All right, and we just tap. And see what our front knee wants to do. Bring it in. Now, if for any reason your hips are kind of swinging to the side, see if you can bring them back to center. Yeah. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes, when the hips swing to the side, it's an indicator that the TFL is doing a little bit more work than the glute, right? Of course, if the slide isn't enough challenge, you can always hover it in midair. If you need a break, take one. We have just a few more here. 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Bring it in. It's time for that hip hinge. So when you hip hinge, if you hip hinge forward and you feel your back, slide your hips back so you're shortening your lever slightly. Then push into your big toe mound, squeeze the hips forward. Good. Yeah, good. Then back. Yeah. So right at the top, that's when it's tempting to kind of like lean into it. We want to draw the ribs down so our diaphragm is stacked over our pelvis. Push into the toe. Notice how my knee is kind of going forward over my toes. That is okay. It is okay to let your knees go past your toes unless there's pain. And if there's like a lot of pain, I would say stay out of the range and maybe talk to a doctor. But it's all right to let it go forward, especially if you can keep your heel down. Good. And of course, you can always hover that foot if you want. Just notice how the foot and knee respond, right? A couple more. 2. Yes. Got one more? Good. Now you can, of course, tap those toes down. We're rotating. So rotate. So that inner thigh just pulled you towards your leg. Come back to center. Now that glute rotates you off that leg. Yeah. Hold there. Rotate your knee over your toe. Yeah, that's where you're going. Beautiful. Knee over the toe. So you're standing on your right leg. Keep your right knee over its third toe. Keep it there as you rotate off of it. Now, when you rotate towards her, look at your knee, put it over its third toe. So do you see how it's kind of here? Use use your glute to keep it right where it is. Yeah. Good, good. Do you feel how that glute kicks on more now? Hold on. Give me 3 more. Yes. There. Yeah. Yes. It's like it's awkward if your body isn't used to it, right? Yeah. Couple more, unless you need a break. Yeah, unless you need a break, in which case take one. Yeah. Nice job, you guys. All right. Go ahead, roll it on down. Take your band off for now. Don't throw it away yet. All right, so find your stand. We're gonna lift one knee. Now, gently push into your knee, not at 100, just a little. You can use whichever hand you want. And keeping your knee right where it is, bring your foot and then out to the side. Good. Try to keep that knee still. So we're going a little bit of internal and external rotation, yeah? Notice if one is harder. Last one. Yeah. And then other side. No problem. Hold first. So you find that ab, hip flexor, quad. And if your hip goes whap, and you start using your back to help, you've gone a little too far. If it's not a huge range, that's okay. 2. Last one. Good. All right. So now we're just going to come into our little athletic stance. Slide one foot out. Maybe this in and out is where you live. Otherwise, we're going to bend our knees down. Now, ignore this back leg. It no longer exists. Push into that front leg. Bring it forward. Hold. Slowly come back down. Dragging yourself down from your hamstring. Resisting from the glute. Pushing into this front leg only. Yeah. Now, if you need to push off that back leg, can you? Yeah, of course. If you need to use your hands, can you? Yeah. Good. Couple more. Guess what this is really important for you guys? Did I hear getting up and down off the ground? Yeah. Good. So if you get to right here and you're like, I can either stay here or collapse, stay right where you were, right? Now, all we're gonna do is cross our leg behind us. Bring it up. Hold. Slowly take it down. Bring it up. Yeah, nice. So we're now just on the transverse plane as opposed to just the sagittal, right? Andrew, you can even step forward one more step. Yeah, there you go. Good. Couple more. How you guys feeling? Great. Good. I'm just going to assume your silence is yes. 2. Last one. Like this. You're going to hold it down. Oh. And sink down an inch. Lift up an inch. Can you be here if you need to be? Of course. Can you be here if you need to be? Sure. Otherwise, we have 5 more. 3. Breaks are great. Last one. Other side. All right. So find that kind of setup, right? Slide it back. Slide it down. Now you might notice I'm at kind of this forward angle as opposed to an upright angle. That's intentional. It's more of a split squat than a full lunge, right? Full lunge is great, but uses a lot more of that back leg, which is not bad. but we're just trying to find a little bit more load of that front leg. And the more we use the back leg, the more likely we are to shear that knee forward as opposed to lifting straight up. Good. When you go down, lift your arch this much for me. Yeah, nice. Good. Did you feel how much easier it was to control that knee? Yes. Good. Couple more. Good. Think about your glute. So when you go down, hold, glance at your knee. I want it here. Yeah, there. Good. 2 more. This time I mean it. Last one. And then we're just taking that leg across our body a bit. Sink it down, bring it up. And maybe you don't have it in you to balance, in which case you tap. No problem. I'm going to try to find a slightly different angle. Good. No. Yeah. Yeah, looks good though. Yeah. I know it's funny how one side can always feel easier than the other side, right? Good. Now, give me just a couple more. Yeah. Same thing, we're still kind of ignoring this back leg a little bit. Most of our weight is on our front leg. 3, 2, last one like this. And then we get to hold it. Yeah. And just down and up an inch. Hold, hold. I know you want to be like, yes, let's get through it, but we're going to hold. Hold, hold, hold. Boom, boom. 2. Last one. Come all the way up. Nice. We're going to do a roll down, dangle. We're coming onto our knees. Yeah. Now, right here, just check in. If when you're on your knees, your hip bones are diving forward, squeeze them forward. So we're nice and upright. Now, slide one foot forward, push it down. Lift and hold. Yeah, bring it down, same. Other side. Try to hold. Yeah. Yeah. If you need to, you can do jazz hands or spirit fingers, right? You can also hold on to something if you need to. Sometimes pressing your hands together can give you a little bit of support. Yeah. Nice. Now, you guys look great. We're going to try to hold, okay? Lift, hold, hold. Bring it down. Lift, hold, hold, and down. Yeah. Ah. Yeah. You can be here if you need to be. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah. Wherever you need. You know what this is really important for? Getting up off the ground. Know what else? Putting on your socks without having to like sit down and do it every time, right? Like, but you guys are like, I don't have to think about that yet, right? And hopefully you never will. Last one. Now, that was so good, we're gonna challenge it. You ready? Bring it forward, take it out to the side, take it behind us. Other side. Good, finding your abs each time. Notice how that internal and external rotation we did standing is coming into play. Yeah, almost there. All right, now this time we reverse it. You ready? Yeah, back, out and around. Yeah. Yeah, nice job. Almost there. Yeah. Yeah. And you were like, ha ha. And now it's like, it's really hard. Yeah. Good. Last one. Good. We're here. We're coming onto all fours. You can be on your hands or your forearms. And I'm going to turn to the side real quickly. We're just going to lift one hand, other hand. Now, if there's a big shift, no big deal. Think about pushing into the floor. Think about your knees pressing down and out so those glutes kick on. Now, maybe you're like, that's really easy. No problem. Reach your hand and foot away, not up, away. So kind of hover more than lift. Yeah, belly button's up. And then other side. Good. Belly button's up. Good. Now, if you feel your hip bone diving forward, things to do. Imagine it rotating the opposite way, just a fraction of an inch. Breathe into your back line. Think about pushing your heel into a wall. Right? Good. One long line. Now, if this is too easy for you, same side. And hold. Good. Reach. Good. So your leg is coming up super high, which is why you're tilting. Yeah. So bring it down a little. Yeah. Good. Yeah. See how much easier that is? Yeah. Two more. Good, Stephanie. Last one. And go ahead, press yourselves into your rest position for a second. Let your hands come up and over to one side, pressing your hips away. Other side. I have to admit, one of the great things about wearing masks is you guys can't see me lip syncing to this. All right, we're gonna bring our hands to our shoulders for a second. And this is just to find where we want our shoulders to be in place, right? So a lot of times if we sit a lot or like, oh, this is happening. So I want you to think about your shoulder blades tilting. And when they do, your elbows might point forward. Point your elbows towards me. Towards me. Even, yeah, good. And then relax. And then scoop the shoulder blades. So the elbows point forward, shoulder blades are back, but not retracted. I know it's weird. So we're trying to find a posterior tilt. We're not retracting and we're not collapsing. It's just when we tuck our tailbone, we're doing the same thing to our shoulder blades, tucking them under, tuck them under, tuck them under, hold. Now, maintaining that position of your shoulder blades, bend your elbows down, push them down, and then just back a millimeter. Good. Do you feel now your mid-back? Good. Now, when we row, you're going to bend forward, hold here, mid-back, 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 yeah? All right, so I want your elbows down, yeah, and then towards your hips more. Good, yes, good. Now that is the position you're gonna find when you grab your weights, like we're doing right now. So you can do it one at a time. Hold, mid-back, mid-back, mid-back. Other side, mid-back, mid-back. Now one reason we are holding is to make sure we can actually feel the work, right? A lot of times we try to get that elbow pretty far back. And do you see what it's doing in my shoulder? It's like dumping forward into my neck and shoulder. So we want elbow down, collarbone wide. Good. Good. And we hold. And we hold. Does one side feel different than the other? Probably. And is it because you've had an injury? Is it because maybe you just use one side more? Maybe you sleep on one side and it just guides your shoulder into a slightly different position. Or maybe they both feel really even, in which case, fantastic. But even if they don't, guess what? It's fine. It's all information. Everybody's still feeling mid-back rather than neck and shoulder? Good. 2 more. Last set. Now, hold this one. And just straighten the arm. Hold. Hold. Everybody feel that tricep? Yeah, we're holding. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the elbow. Reach it back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Good. Bend it down. Reach it back. So once again, we're reaching our hand down rather than up. Right? Couple more. Same side, unless you need a break, in which case it's fine. 2. Last one. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Everybody ready for that other side? I'll take that as a yeah. Tricep time. If you're like, you know, I have trouble feeling my triceps, that's okay. Imagine that holiday time, somebody's coming up behind you to take a picture. You want to make that tricep pop as you look over that shoulder. That squeeze, just squeeze it with the weight in your hand, right? Defying gravity. And bend. We're reaching back. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reach it back. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and again. Last one. Good. And bring it down. If it's not comfortable to be on your knees, you can always stand. We're going to bring our hands together. Push them overhead. Now, shoulders melted out of the ears, but not forced down. I like hands together, but you can always have them apart. We're going to bend slowly. And then, yeah. More tricep? Yeah. That's okay. If you need a break, take one. But notice how this feels a little different, right? It's because our triceps all attach in one place. They go over the ulna. But all of the heads of the triceps go to different places of your shoulder, right? Only one actually crosses the shoulder. So different shoulder placements a little bit will change the way triceps feel. And we have 4, 3, 2. Nice job, everybody. Now we're sticking with triceps, but we're going to lie down. Different shoulder position, all right? It's going to be great. So lie down on your back, straighten your arms to the sky. Now let your arm bones relax down. Hands can be apart or together. Slowly bend your elbows and straighten. Now, if your hands are together, you won't be able to go as low because your lovely faces are in the way, in which case I really suggest being very slow and deliberate on the way down. Honestly, I recommend being that slow and deliberate, whether your hands are together or apart, but especially if you could bonk yourself in the forehead. And do these triceps feel different than the last ones we did? Yeah? Yeah. 3, 2, last one. Bring your arms down to the side. Now, instead of a T position, we're gonna go with an A position. You can get rid of the weights for the first couple of these if you'd like. What I'd like you to do is, without your ribs popping, push your elbows down into the ground from your mid back. Now, press your arms up, reach your fingertips towards the sky, let your arm bones relax down, and slowly drag the arms down, pushing the elbows into the ground. And then press up, drag the arms down, push into the ground. Press, reach, think about the pinky fingers, and then shoulder blades. So yes, this is like a chest press. However, we're not just using the pecs, we're also trying to find serratus. And then on the way back down, we're trying to find lower and mid traps, maybe a little bit of rhomboid. 2, last 1. Nice job, you guys. Go ahead, set the weights down. Go ahead, interlace your hands behind your head, spiraling your elbows forward, shoulder blades draw down your back. Inhale here, exhale, curl forward into your chest lift or ab prep. Now bring your hands forward, push them into an imaginary surface to get you a little bit higher. Hands come back behind your head and hold. Now we're gonna breathe for a second while we're here. If we're sending our breath forward, notice how my head lowers. I want you to try to inflate posteriorly, so inflate into the backs of your ribs, and it should help create buoyancy so you don't have to fight to stay upright, yeah? Now push one foot into the floor, float your other leg to tabletop. Reach that foot down, push it down, toe ball heel, float the other leg. Now for any reason, you need your head down, it's the same thing, just with the head down. All right, we're trying to keep that pelvis still. So the thigh bone slides down in the socket. Good. Whether we are up or down. Good. Can curl a little bit up. Your armpits and your elbows forward. Yes, perfect. Now, if this is where you are, great. Otherwise, bring both legs to tabletop. Squeeze them together like you're trying to pop a balloon. We're going to tap one toe down, rotate to the other side. Slowly make your way to the other side. Good. So it's a 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Yeah. Nice job, you guys. Think about the ribs rotating rather than the shoulders doing the work. Couple more. 2. Last set. Good. Come all the way down. We're going to make a little diamond shape or with our hands and slide them underneath your sacrum. So that triangular bone in between your cheeks is what we are framing. Now, it's okay to kind of rock back and forth a couple times to figure out where you are in space. Now bring your legs back to tabletop. Without letting your tailbone crush your fingertips, push your feet away from you. And I don't actually want you to straighten your legs fully and then fold them in. Now you can straighten your legs fully. However, a lot of times we tend to go past the part that's the hardest and into that full extension where our quads are going to support us a little bit more. So I'd like you to see if you can keep your knees slightly bent. And if you're like, but that's too easy, bring your heels down towards the ground a little bit more. Good. How's that feeling, everyone? Lovely. Now, if you're like, okay, I know where my hips are in space. I want to challenge myself in a different way, you can do the same thing from your chest lift. Reach it away, yeah. And then let it fold in. Good. Few more. If the feet going away from you is too much, you can do one at a time, or you can tap the toes down as opposed to fully straightening. We have 3. Curling forward if you're lifting. Yeah, 2. Last one. Good. Hug your knees in towards your chest. Stir your thigh bones in the socket. We're going to roll up. So we're going to do some roll-ups real quickly. If you have your prop, just bring it near you. Reach your hands forward like you're coming into a hamstring stretch. And then imagine somebody you like coming up behind you and giving you a hug. So you're kind of lifting your ribs towards them. Now shoulders can melt down, but notice how they're still protracted. So while we're here, think of your shoulders coming forward a little bit and back, forward and back. Forward is actually going to help you more. Now curl and roll all the way down. Good. And then when you come up, think about your pelvis starting in neutral, and then it can imprint as you roll. Yeah, good. And if you think of a forward motion as opposed to an up, it's just a little bit easier on your nervous system. Now, if you're like, well, I can't get up, or I can, but I have to kind of wrench myself up, instead, we have options. You can always put something underneath your low back. You can also use your body to help you. You can roll up, walk up your leg, right? Yeah, good. 2 more. Like this. Good. Now all we're going to do is rotate to one side and roll down that side. And roll back up that side. And then rotate to the other side. Roll down that side. And then roll up. Now notice if one side, you're like, okay. And then maybe one side goes, nah. So curl, curl, curl. See if you can let your spine sink. I have a little bit of scoliosis. So on one side, I've always been able to roll because it's my kind of convex side. And it took a long time for the concave side to catch up. That's okay, right? So just be aware that maybe one side's going to be easier than the other. Last one each side. Shouldn't be that challenging. It should be relatively smooth. And come up. Now go ahead, grab your prop. So if you're at home, you can double up a pillow. We're going to bring this behind us. Hands behind our head. Now find a position where your pelvis can be relatively soft. We're just going to extend over the ball first. Now, on your exhale, sink your ribs down, curl through your ears, come to your neutral, and then you're going to imagine your collarbone being pulled towards the sky, hold, and then slowly lower. On the way down, you can either let go and relax, or you can hold your abs and resist gravity. Guess which one I would like you to do? Resist gravity, yeah. Because if we resist gravity with that muscular contraction, we'll get stronger faster. Good. 2 more. Finding those abs, sinking it down to lift us up. Good. How did these feel? Pretty okay? Good. Now, you're going to extend one leg, curl it towards you, push it away as you slowly lower. And then slide it in as you curl forward. And then slowly extend. Yeah. Now the ball is giving you a little bit of instability here, right? Does it feel okay on your back? You can always get rid of it if it doesn't. Yeah, yeah, get rid of it. It's okay. You don't need it. You can do the exact same thing on the floor without it. So, good. Couple more. Last one. Hold it up and just switch legs. Keep curling towards them and switch. Huh. You guys doing okay? Abtastic? You can give me a thumbs up if you don't feel like you can spare the breath. Good. 2. Last one. Now all you're going to do, push that foot away as you extend. So we've switched sides. Curl forward. And extend. And curl. Good. Slowly resisting. Everybody feel those obliques kicking in, even though we're not rotating. But we have 3, 2, last one. Hold it up. Now take your opposite hand. We're actually going to press it into the leg and press the leg into your hand so you create tension, and then switch. And then switch. And you can even start rotating if it feels good. If it's too much for any reason, no, don't do it. So with this, instead of just touching, like make contact, push, push. We're using this concept called innervation, which means we are accessing other muscles to create more tension into the body. So Andrea, push your knee into your hand more. Yeah, match that. Yeah, even more. Yeah, yes. Do you feel the difference? Good. So it's easy to kind of just touch. We want to create resistance. Last set. Good. Now come back to center, both knees come in and tap both toes up. Keep curling forward. Knees come in. Use your breath here. Everybody's abs okay? Good. We're almost done. I promise. I promise. 3, 2. Last one. Bring your feet down, extend over the ball and relax. Nice job. All right. Go ahead, come all the way up to standing. I can't believe our hour is like up, but we're going to do a tiny bit of balance work. It's going to be so great. All right, so we've already challenged our neuromuscular system, so we're going to challenge a couple other systems in our body. So bring your heels to your toes. So like you're on a tightrope. Now, for any reason this is too much, you can always bring your feet a little bit closer, or you can widen them. Now bring one finger in front of your face. Don't stop looking at the finger. And we're just going to turn our head. Don't stop looking at the finger. Other side. And if you get good at it, you can make it faster. You can stand on one foot. 3, 2, 1. And we get to switch feet, switch fingers. But we're going to do something else instead. So instead of us turning our head is going to stay still, but our finger is going to move. Don't stop looking at it. Now, if you're like, I think my head is staying still, but I can't tell, use your other finger to touch your chin and just let yourself know. All right. 3. Of course, if you want, you can come up onto one foot. 2. It's a little bit tricky for me. Good. Now, since you guys did so great, feet together, lift one foot. And we're just going to look over one shoulder. And then other side. Yeah. Good. You all look fantastic. Close your eyes. And then we get to do the other side. Now, the good news and bad news is it's the same news. It's going to feel a little different on one side, right? So maybe this is your easier side. And you are welcome to do this. It's just easier if you're like holding on. So if you need more challenge, just let the other leg dangle without like squeezing it in. Yeah. Good. You can take your head. Yeah. And you can close your eyes. Is one side easier or are both sides exciting? Or both sides really easy, right? 2. Yeah. Last one. Nice job, you guys. Go ahead, flip your palms to the sky, open your collarbones, shoulders, draw up your ears, drop them straight down, and give yourselves a round of applause. Nice work. You guys did awesome. You're like, why am I clapping? Because it's over and you did amazing. Thanks for joining me, you guys. Hi, hi.